One umpire.
Good evening. Yeah, sorry, man.
Yeah, Mr. Callaghan.
Yeah, I think from my side, I mean,
a former international umpire,
yes.
K. Hariharan, is on the program. He says to me, and he can hear you now, he says maybe he has heard that some umpires have brought some dodgy cases to the notice of the BCCI, but he says, I don't know what happened after that. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think from the I think from the umpire's point of view, I mean, they'll obviously know if there's something happening on the field. But I mean, you know, from a spectator's point of view, when I'm sitting here in my lounge in South Africa and I turn my TV on every day at 4 o'clock and sit and watch 3 or 4 hours of IPL cricket, there are obviously a lot of circumstances. I mean, there's some incredible hitting. I mean, if I look back at David Miller's hitting, I look back at Pollard, I look at Gale's hitting. You know, I think we need to be very careful and be very sure of what we're saying, because there are some exceptional performances out there on the cricket field. And if we start scrutinizing and looking at every instance, we're going to tear this wonderful game of ours apart. You know, and I think I'm hoping that obviously things like match fixing and that are not happening on the field, and the players are not involved.
Mr. Dave Callaghan, you played under Hansie Cronje, who was accused of match fixing. Wasn't there a total cleanup? Wasn't there a total cleanup after that?
Yeah, look at.
And the second question is, could the fixing which took place in 2000 have taken place without the consent of the team captain? How did South African cricket respond to the allegations?
Yeah, look, I think there was a clean out of obviously there was Hansie was removed from the side, and I remember I was the player that was on the sideline, and I took Hansie's place in against Australia in 2000. So I was very aware of what is happening, and I think the team itself got such a fright when our national captain was involved with these type of things. And before that, I had quite a long break. So I played in the Euro Cup in 1992, and then played till 96, and then had a 3 or 4 year break before I made the side. And a lot of the speculation and a lot of the goings on were when Herschel Gibbs and 1 or 2 other guys sort of came into the team. And we all know they were all sort of put on the block, you know. But I think from our side, from a national perspective,
that's the point. No, Mr. Dave Callaghan, that is the point. There was an acknowledgement that there is dirt and muck. What we have seen so far in India, what we have seen so far, and that's the question I want to put to Latika as someone concerned with the business of sport. Tell me, Latika, do people connected with cricket think they are not answerable to anyone? Do they think that they'll just say this is 3 rotten eggs, which is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard? Every day a new expose comes. Is there a feeling? Is there a feeling that we are so powerful, we'll just, cover it all up? We are not answerable to the people of this country.
Well,
is there that feeling?
That is what it is.
Yeah, no, definitely the BCCI is wanting to just obliterate the entire thing. I mean, considering on a channel on which the match is being shown on such a big day, there was not a word from the official BCCI channel as to what had happened.
Yeah.
So the BCCI is running it in an autocratic way. We all know that. They're trying to cover up. We all know that. As far as owners are concerned, I said this also on a previous channel, that there are parties that happen every night, which is not the norm when you're playing a cricket game. You are supposed to actually sleep on time, and if you go for a dinner, it's over at 9 o'clock. But every day, blatantly, the owners are sponsoring parties which have drugs and girls and alcohol and everything there. So to that extent, the owners are responsible for who the players meet and what kind of unsavory elements
get into
their parties, etc.
No, tell me more. Tell me more. You mentioned drugs and girls, alcohol. Tell me more. What? You're saying team owners are aware of all this?
Well, I suppose all this happens. There are parties every night and they go on till 4 in the morning, and many things have happened. In the Luke Palmer's back incident happened, and things happen. So all sorts of unsavory elements are getting into it. Young boys are drinking. All that is definitely happening, and the onus of that is on the owners. I mean, the point being that it should be treated as a sport. It should be treated as something that you should be getting prepared. After the match is over, you should be going back and resting. You have had what is the need for the parties? They were banned officially, but unofficially they continue to happen.
No, that's because people like Kishore Bhimani. That's because people like Kishore Bhimani begin on a premise that it is not cricket, it's entertainment.
Yeah, but entertainment is all very well, but at the base of this entertainment is cricket and great performances and great bowling and great batting. How does that happen if you're going to party all the time?
Exactly.
Arnab, may I answer this one? The fact is that Rajiv Shukla had promised us last year that these after parties would end. These after parties are the bane of any kind of cricket. They are a contradiction of the idea of cricket. They go start at midnight. I have been to some of them, and it's disgusting. The fact is that yes, I'm saying it's entertainment, but I'm not saying it's unbridled entertainment when you can do what you like, and not at the cost of the culture of cricket. And when we are talking about this, this 3 or 4 South Africans who were involved, there was Strydom, Williams, Boye, Cronje himself, and Herschel Gibbs. Now, in India, we also had 5. Azharuddin and 5 others who shall remain unnamed. So let's not say the board was not aware of this, this was being buried, this is happening, that is happening. It is history repeating itself.
So the question, the question goes to the House. No, the question goes to the House.
Nothing about it. We made the person who came out of this as the most guilty of all is a member of parliament. We live in a society which seems to have forgiven these things. So if today's youngsters are going to do things like this, I find it unnatural. I find myself disgusted, but I also see that this should have been stopped 13 years ago, not now. Those 5 people should have been in jail. Those 5 people shouldn't be running around with political influence. 3 ministers got involved.
I now want to tell our viewers.
That's history.
I now want to tell our viewers that, you know, who is the jack of betting. I'm going to come back to this. The question in the House on the News Hour tonight is this. Should Mr. Srinivasan come out and tell us what he thinks about his son-in-law's call to the IPL middleman? Should his son-in-law come and tell us on the News Hour tonight instead of not taking our calls and hiding somewhere? Mr. Gurunath, tell us, did you or did you not? Did you or did you not call Vindu Dara Singh? If you're watching the News Hour tonight, if you called Vindu Dara Singh, why did you call him? Just because you were friends? What was this about? Did you not know, Mr. Gurunath, and I really hope you're watching this, that Vindu Dara Singh is the jack of betting. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's his name, the jack of betting. At this point, my only question is that of how people are being cheated. Ashwini Nachappa, I think we heard a very, I would say, candid Latika Khaneja today. And Latika, I appreciate your candor. I'm glad that you're coming and speaking up as someone in cricket. The point here is, it's a very powerful cabal, Ashwini. Nobody more than you knows how powerful political cabals are in sport. Who's going to bring in the accountability? Because this political cabal also has a sense of invincibility around it.
Arnab, you know very well the kind of people that heads most federations, leave alone BCCI, all federations in India. The unity that they have, despite being affiliated to various political parties, the unity within the sports fraternity among the political club is something to be really, it's shocking to see, because that kind of unity you don't even have in parliament. But when it comes to bringing accountability, transparency, none of them will come to the table even to talk about.
No, what about propriety?
Well, we all agree.
What about propriety?
Where is the... There is no line of, you can't even draw a line. There's no morals, there's no...
Why can't we draw a line? We'll draw a line. Why shouldn't we draw a line?
Great motivator for all of them.
No, why shouldn't we draw a line? My question tonight, Meher Bose, thank you for joining us from London. We've been talking about this. Tonight I have more exposés. We've exposed everything. We've exposed Mr. 1%. We've exposed Mr. Jack, Vindu Dara Singh. We have Bollywood involved. More big Bollywood names are coming out. Srinivasan's son-in-law, the CSK boss, himself is in touch with the middleman. So the question is of conflict of interest. It has gone to the extreme, Mr. Meher Bose. Isn't it?
Well, yes, because I agree with you, but the problem is that in India, sports organizations have never developed proper corporate responsibility. Now, that is true in other organizations as well, but if you look around the world, sports organizations are run by people who know sport. In India, sports organizations are run by people who want to become politicians, whose knowledge of sport is non-existent.
No.
When did Mr. Srinivasan play cricket? Can you tell me his test batting record? He has no knowledge of cricket. You know, what happens is, in other organizations, and if you look at properly run cricket organizations, they have people who have got some experience of cricket. So what happens, the relationship between players and the head of these organizations is like a servant-master relationship, and that's a very bad thing. And of course, the master doesn't control the servant, the master is not accountable to anybody, he doesn't feel the need to be accountable to anybody, and this is the worst thing, Indian politicians have come into sport because they see that as a very useful
No, my question on propriety, Meher Boss.
They themselves have no sporting background.
Meher Boss, my question of propriety is simply the question I'm asking tonight.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, Meher Boss. I hope you can hear me as well. The question is simply this.
Hello?
Meher Boss, I think I lost the line with. The question is that of propriety. I'm going to dial you back. The question is of propriety. Ashok Pandit is a cricket lover tonight. He represents that voice on the news. Question is, Ashok Pandit, the person who is expected to be cracking the whip, Srinivasan, cracking the whip on fixing, he finds his own son-in-law embroiled in the scandal.
He's compromised.
Huh? No, what do we do now? What do we expect in such a situation? Meher Boss, you heard that, I think. The person who is expected to be cracking the whip, Mr. Srinivasan, finds his own kin, his own son-in-law embroiled in the scandal. Rajesh Kalra, why don't you take that?
Yeah.
So you have Mr. Srinivasan.
I am not surprised at all. Arnab, two things. So two things. No, I understood. Arnab, am I talking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that to me?
Yeah, go ahead. It's to you.
Okay. See, I am not surprised at all that it's there. At the end of the day, if you realize, these players are only pawns. You know, people have been asking these questions since yesterday. When will the big player be named? When did that player be named? Actually, it makes no difference. At the end of the day, it's only in the pay, you know, in the masses, among the masses and the fans, that Dhoni or Tendulkar and all very, very big people, which they are because they are great. They do some things which nobody else can. But in the eyes of the cricket administrators and the politicians who run this game in this country, they are mere pawns. They actually use them. You look at, you know, you're talking about the conflict of interest of the BCCI chairman. Dhoni is also on the board of his company, and he also is the captain of his franchisee. Isn't there a clear conflict of interest there? When India performed very badly in Australia, everybody said he should go, but the selector who stood up and said, I don't think he should be there, he should go, that selector had to face the music, and he was given marching orders.